Victory by the Philistines over Israel brought the age of judges to an end. The people turned to prophets for guidance. The prophet Samuel had served in the tabernacle of Shiloh since his youngest memories. His visions, his wisdom, and his dedication to doing God's will placed him in a destined role, a spiritual leader for all Israel. He oversaw the priests' sacrifices, led Israel in battle, and when the elders begged for a king over the tribes, Samuel chose Saul, a man from the tribe of Benjamin. Saul moved the tabernacle, Israel's spiritual home, into his territory and closer to Jerusalem. The Israelites rallied to Saul, and Samuel held an official inauguration of the monarchy. With sacrifices and great celebration, Israel accepted Saul as their king. He led the bitter war against the Philistines until Samuel came to him with a message from God.
Leave the Philistines for now. The time has come to vanquish our old enemy, the Amalekites. Spare no one. Every man, woman, and child must be destroyed. Kill their livestock. Leave nothing alive. Take nothing. Their entire line and all they possess must be eradicated from the face of the earth.
I know this was the will of Moses, but those were different times. Surely it would be more pragmatic to spare the livestock and women.
You are commanded to completely destroy them. Fail, and they will plague Israel for all time.
Saul mustered the troops and advanced toward the cities of Amalek. They slaughtered the people and captured their king, Agag. Samuel rode out to the Israelite camp to meet Saul.
Samuel, we have conquered our enemies.
Why is there livestock everywhere?
Only for sacrifice? Surely that's acceptable. We have killed everything else.
But not their king.
A valuable hostage.
You knew what God commanded, yet you publicly repudiate him.
I have ordered the death of children in God's name. Is that not enough?
You have rejected the will of the Creator. Therefore, he has rejected your crown.
Samuel, wait!
As you tear my cloak, so the Lord this day has torn you from the throne of Israel. He will give it to one more worthy.
Samuel, I know I did wrong. Seek forgiveness on my behalf.
Bring me Agag.
The king of Amalek was brought forward. Samuel raised his sword and split Agag in half. The prophet left camp and refused to see Saul again. Knowing that Saul would lose the throne, Samuel set out on a sacred mission to find the man who would replace the king. Samuel took the horn of anointment oil and went to Bethlehem. As he arrived, the people rushed to greet him.
I come to host a sacrificial meal. Extend an invitation to Jesse and his sons.
Jesse arrived with 7 of his sons. One by one, he presented them to Samuel.
No, there must be another. Jesse, are these your only sons?
The youngest one is tending the flock.
Then go fetch him.
They fetched David, a ruddy-cheeked, handsome youth. Samuel took up his horn of oil immediately.
My son, David.
My lord.
David, stand here. With this oil I anoint you. May God bless you, that you may live to rule over the united tribes of Israel. Long live the king.
Jonathan, is father?
Don't go in there. He's in a foul mood.
This is out of control. He can't go on like this.
I know. It's getting worse.
There must be something we can do.
Princess, I wonder, have you tried music? Years of battle took their toll on my father. Music was the only thing that calmed his tormented mind.
Jonathan, we could at least try it.
Are you sure? Musicians travel. They talk.
Ask for David, son of Jesse, to come with his lyre. I know the family. They're trustworthy.
Fine. Send for him.
What have you been told, David?
Only to report to you.
The king has fits of rage and melancholy. We hope music may provide a relief.
David, these moods of his... What we tell you must remain within these walls.
I understand.
Sit out here and play a while. We'll see if he takes to it.
Father, I thought it time we adorn our court with a musician. Allow me to present David.
You play well. At the New Moon Festival, I would have you entertain.
I'd be honored to serve my king.
David was called often to the king's house to play for him. Otherwise, he tended to his father's flock. The Philistine army was once again assembling for battle, and David's brothers were called to the front line. The Israelites camped on the opposite hill to the Philistine army, with a ravine between them. David arrived with provisions for his brothers. The battle had not yet begun.
David, what are you doing here? This is no place for you.
Father sent me with provisions.
Look, the Philistine giant!
God save us.
Through the crowd, David watched the largest man he had ever seen step forward. Goliath towered over the armies, decked in a bronze helmet and scaled armor.
Children of Israel, there is no need to waste lives today. Choose a champion, and if he kills me, we will be your slaves. If not, you will serve the Philistines. Now, give me a man that we may battle!
No one would be mad enough to go against that monster.
What would be done for the man who does?
Saul has offered his daughter in marriage.
Tell me, where is the king's tent?
We can't rely on one champion.
No, but with the distraction, we could move our reserves, take them by surprise, and...
My king?
David!
Go find somewhere safe, boy.
With all due respect, I want to stay. I'm going to fight that Philistine.
You have no experience in combat. That man has been killing since his youth.
I know what I'm doing.
David...
Fine. You want to risk your head? I won't stop you. Someone find him a breastplate and a sword.
No, it'll weigh me down. I have what I need.
Before my commanders, do you accept the role of champion of Israel?
I do.
God be with you.
Well, where is your champion? Are you all nothing but cowards?
You underestimate us, Philistine.
Goliath turned and saw David approaching him, wearing no armor and carrying only a slingshot.
What am I? A dog that you come at me with strings? Run back home, child, or I will give your flesh to the birds of the sky and the beasts of the field!
I will defeat you in the name of the God of Israel.
Come, little man. Let's see what you're made of.
David's view was blocked by the giant's shield-bearer. As Goliath rose, David could only see the top of his head, His helmet protected all but Goliath's eyes and temples. Goliath moved in slowly to swing his sword at David, who used the massive shield between them to hide. He slipped a stone into his slingshot, whirled it through the air, and took aim. As Goliath raised his head over the shield to see him, David released the stone. The stone flew true and found its mark. Goliath's temple was cracked open, blood streaming down his face. The giant lay unconscious on the ground. David took Goliath's sword, but his shield-bearer blocked him, shouting out,
Get off him!
What's your name?
Uriah.
Uriah, you've lost the battle. Help me remove his armor. They're giving me the king's daughter. I'll be able to grant you any favor.
An Israelite wife. Any of my choosing.
Done.
Here, it unfastens at the heels. I'll show you.
Together, they unfastened the armor. Then David swung the giant's sword and decapitated Goliath's head. He raised it high and shouted to the Philistine army,
Behold the power of the God of Israel!
Retreat! Retreat!
The Philistines fled, with the Israelites in pursuit.
David, that was incredible! The commanders will want you to serve.
In the military?
You're a champion of the people now. You'll be a commander, a public figure. Come with me. How did you know you could do it?
I'm a shepherd. I've had to fight lions to protect my flock. He was no different than a wild beast.
Well, you're not a shepherd anymore. You'll need the garb of a prince. Take my cloak and belt. For we are to be brothers in battle. My sword and my bow are a gift to you. My loyalty and friendship are yours for all time, David, son of Jesse.
As mine is yours, Prince Jonathan, son of Saul.
The army was greeted on their return by the women of Israel, singing and dancing with timbrels. David was to marry Saul's daughter, Michal, and became a commander of the king's army. David and Jonathan were victorious in every battle they led, and won the hearts of all the people of Israel. But David's honor aroused a growing jealousy in Saul's heart. Israel still came under frequent attacks. King Saul relentlessly defended the land on the battlefield. He was courageous in warfare, but during periods of peace, he sunk deeper into rage, despair, and paranoia. After successfully battling the persistent Philistines, Saul and his army returned to the city of Gibeah and were greeted with celebration. At the head of the legion, King Saul rode with Abner, the commander of his troops.
Saul has slain 1,000. David, tens of thousands.
Women of Israel, praise the man truly responsible for our victory. Sing for Abner, general of Israel's army, for it is he you have to thank for this time of peace. Tonight, we hold a sacrificial feast to give thanks to the Creator who has delivered us from our enemies.
At the palace, Michal and her sister Merab waited with the courtiers and servants.
Look how Father praises Abner. He'll do anything to lower my husband.
David does well enough without Father's praise. He is the champion of Judah.
Daughters!
Father! Blessings on your safe return.
Where is David? And Jonathan, for that matter.
Traveling behind with the foot soldiers, I imagine. Come, we have a feast to attend.
Father, sisters.
Michal?
We wondered where you'd gotten to. Tell me, is it common for you princes to ride at the back with the foot soldiers?
It is an honor to ride with one's own troops. I would do so myself, but a king's place is at the head.
My lord, the women of Judah ask if they may present a gift.
Of course. Send them in.
The gift is for David.
That's fine.
My king, I beg permission to present a gift to our champion, David. We thought it time he rode out beneath his own banner, the banner of his tribe, Judah.
The Lion of Judah. How appropriate.
Kinswoman, words fail me.
No words necessary, my lord.
Father, are you unwell?
Fresh air.
Too much wine, I think. I'll go check on him.
No, let me. Father?
Leave me.
They meant no offense. The people of Judah are proud. Surely you are above petty tribal rivalries.
It's more than that. Without Samuel's support, our status is constantly under threat.
The prophet still refuses to see you?
I should have listened to him. I should have rejected the Amalek bounty and killed their king. I should have obeyed. And now, because of one transgression, I stand to lose it all.
That's not true.
I'm not a fool, Michal. You've seen how they are with him. They worship the man. He will rip the kingdom from my hands, lay waste my family, my legacy. We cannot allow it. The house of Saul will not bend to a usurper. I will wage war against the heavens if that's what it takes. Oh, hear me, oh Creator. I will protect what is mine.
Stop. You're making yourself ill.
And you brought him into my house.
Father!
Get away from me!
Michal, what's wrong?
The king has taken a bad turn.
Return to the feast. I'll stay with him.
Abner? Has Father ever said anything to you outright about David? About wanting to hurt him?
Saul has always been fond of David. I admit the relationship is complicated, but...
Please, tell me the truth. If his life is in danger, then so is mine.
He's said things under his breath after too much wine.
But is there real danger?
David should give Saul no reason to doubt his loyalty.
Michal, you're being irrational. Your father has no reason to doubt me.
You don't understand. If he kills you, I'm left with nothing. I will not be a traitor's widow handed off to the next bidder. Not when you have been anointed by the prophet. Not when we could have more. Be more. The people don't want an aging, addled king. They want a champion.
I never should have told you about that. Does Jonathan know?
Of course not. I've told no one. David, find an excuse and leave the city.
The festival of the new moon is tomorrow. It'll only raise his suspicions if I'm not there.
Where are you going?
To see your father. My king?
David?
You haven't asked me to play for you in some time. I thought perhaps I'd play a shepherd's song from the northern hills. Does that suit you?
Yes, that's fine. He will give it to one more worthy. Enough.
My king?
That spear hung on the wall. Bring it to me. This is no mere ornament. I took it from the king of Amalek. It was one of the bloodiest battles I've ever seen. We showed no mercy. And it was still not enough. We worship a god who demands terrible sacrifice. What would you sacrifice, David? For your family, your kingdom?
Anything.
Then you will understand. And perhaps forgive me from the next world.
Saul, what are you...
David! You're hurt!
He tried to kill me!
I told you this would happen! You're leaving tonight.
I can't just leave.
You can, and you will. I assure you, husband. Give him the chance and he will kill you before dawn.
Everything I have is here.
That's not true. David, you must seek out your tribesmen and gather support. They long for a leader of their own. They will rally to you. It's Father's men. Quick, out the window.
Wait, I must speak to Jonathan.
I'll send him to you. Go!
Daughter, where is your husband?
How am I to know? Do you think he tells me anything?
Where is he, Michal?
You know as much as I.
Guards, he's gone through the window. Go, now! My own daughter turned against me.
Don't you hear yourself? You're raving.
Are you mad, child?
Am I mad?
You let my enemy escape!
David has shown more loyalty to this house than all your men put together.
What did you think was going to happen, Michal? He'd raise his own army and name you queen? Is that it? He'll be dead by morning, leaving you the childless widow of a traitor worth nothing!
David?
Jonathan. Are you here to kill me?
No. Why would you... David, we made a pact. I would never harm you.
What am I to think? Your father attacks me, sends his men after me. What crime have I committed that he should seek my life?
If that was truly his intention, he would have told me. Why, of all people, would he attack you?
You know, don't you? About the anointment.
I had my suspicions. In a way, I'm thankful it'll be to you. There are many who are less worthy.
Jonathan.
What do you need from me?
Tomorrow is the festival of the new moon. Tell your father I've gone to my family for the feast. If he's calm, I'm safe for now. If his rage flares up...
I'll sound him out. And if he intends you harm, may the Creator do thus to me and more if I do not send you away safe. May the Creator be with you, as he was once with my father.
Where is David? Why isn't he here?
I can't imagine.
He wanted to be with his family for the festival.
You've spoken with him.
I gave him leave last night. Why? Is there a particular reason I should have detained him?
Perverse child. I know you side with him. To your shame and to your mother's shame. Your blind affection risks everything we've built. You will bring him to me, Jonathan. He is marked for death.
Why? What crime has he committed? Everything he has done has been to your advantage.
He means to take the crown!
So, you accuse him of treason. Have you any proof? No, I thought not, though you have already passed sentence. A fair judicator, is he not?
How dare you speak to your king, your father, this way? Get out of my sight!
With pleasure. David.
Jonathan.
He's declared you a traitor in public. You have to get as far away as possible.
I'll leave tonight. Will you be safe here?
I can handle Saul.
I'll send word when I can.
I'll find you. Go in peace, brother.
David left the city and traveled by darkness to the town of Nob. The priest Ahimelech came out in alarm to meet him.
David! You're alone. Where are your men?
The king has ordered me on a stealth mission. No one can know I'm here. Tell me, do you have any bread?
Come in. I'll give you what I can.
Do Do you have any spears or swords on hand?
This is most unusual.
The king's mission was urgent. I left in haste.
Look behind the clothes. There! You may recognize it.
Goliath's sword.
Take it. It belongs to you more than anyone.
David moved on to the caves of Adullam. He sent word to his father's house and was soon joined by his brothers and the men of Judah. They rallied to David, nearly 400 men, and made him their leader. The group of rebels moved often, constantly on the run from Saul's relentless pursuit. Abner informed Saul that Ahimelech had given David provisions and the sword of Goliath. Saul had his soldiers round up Ahimelech and his men and escorted them to the king's camp.
You have conspired against me. You took in my enemy, gave him food, a sword that belongs to the monarchy.
My king, I'm shocked. Who is there among all of your men as trusted as David, son-in-law of your majesty? Have mercy. Your servant knew nothing of this.
You have betrayed your king, you and all your house. And for that, you shall pay dearly.
Please, this is madness.
Kill all of them.
They are priests, my lord. This will not bode well for you.
Do as your king commands you, Abner. Or mark my words, you will suffer the same fate.
Of the entire encampment, only one of the priest's sons escaped death. Abiathar fled to David's stronghold.
They killed everyone. The priests, their wives, the young ones.
I should never have entered your father's house.
This is not your fault, David. Saul is self-destructing. He turns the people against him with every move.
Join us, Abiathar. You'll be safe here. And heaven knows we could use a priest. What is it, Yoav?
A rider approaches. He wears the colors of Saul's house, but he appears alone.
Bring my horse. I'll ride out to meet him.
Are you sure? Take a man or two. At least then you'll...
I'm sure. Jonathan.
I told you I'd find you.
Does Saul know that...
No, you're safe here, for now. I can't stay long. We march against the Philistines at daybreak.
It's enough just to see your face.
So you have men, weapons, provisions?
More men than I can count. We gather support every day, but must move often. Saul will find us eventually. And then...
He will never touch you. David, you will be king of Israel, and he knows it.
How do you not resent me?
I believe in the will of God, and have seen firsthand what happens to the man who struggles against it. I ask only that I have a wife, children. If anything should happen to me, protect my family from harm.
I swear it before the Creator, your children will be safe.
Then, before the Creator, I renew my pledge of loyalty. I should go.
Must you leave so soon?
The longer I'm here, the less safe your people are. But I hope to see you again very soon. Be safe, David.
And you. Go in peace, my brother.
David and his men traveled south to Ein Gedi, a natural oasis nestled in the mountains of the Judean desert. The rebels settled deep within the high caves. Saul learned of their location and came with 3,000 men to hunt David down.
Stay here. I want to rest alone.
Is that wise, my king?
I'll be fine, Abner.
Saul ventured into one of the dark caves and rested. In the back of that same cave, David lay in wait with his men.
He's in your hands.
Stay here.
In the dark, David crept towards Saul, knife in hand. He reached out and cut a corner of Saul's robe. Saul left the cave, none the wiser.
David,
Why did you let him walk?
I will not raise a hand against him.
Why? He has hunted you down like an animal.
He is the Creator's anointed. Heaven forbid I should strike him down. Don't move. Saul?
David!
Lay down your sword. Your guards cannot help you here. The Creator delivered you to my hands this day, to the very cave in which my soldiers waited, urging me to kill you. But see for yourself.
My cloak!
I came close enough to cut the cloth, and yet I did not harm you. You must see now that I have done nothing rebellious, have never wronged you, yet you are bent on taking my life.
David, my son, forgive me. I know I have done wrong. I have lost everything because of it.
Only the Creator can judge you, but you are still my king. Go back to your soldiers. I will not harm you. Only abandon this dark mission and leave me in peace.
Swear to me that whatever happens, you will not destroy my line.
I swear before the Creator, the House of Saul will be remembered. Now go.
Saul gathered his men and returned to his city. He kept his word and never tried to harm David again. The war with the Philistines dragged on. At Mount Gilboa, the Israelites faced their enemies once more in battle, but they were outnumbered and losing ground fast. Many fell that day on the bloody battlefield. Saul and his sons found themselves surrounded. The battle raged around them as the Philistines closed in.
We're losing men!
Behind me, quick! You can still get away!
Stand back, Jonathan! I will not watch you die!
Father, move!
No! No, Jonathan! My boy!
Saul fell to his knees, and with a final prayer, the king pressed a knife to his own throat and ended his life. Thus, Saul and his sons and his men died together that day.
David, what is it?
Something is wrong.
David! Yoav! I come from the battlefield.
What's happened? Tell me.
The Philistines could not be held back.
What of Jonathan?
He has fallen in battle.
David, leave me.
David tore his clothes and covered himself with ash. He stood before his men and lamented the house of Saul.
Your glory, O Israel, lies slain on your heights. How have the mighty fallen? The bow of Jonathan never turned back. The sword of Saul never withdrew empty. Saul and Jonathan, beloved and cherished, swifter than eagles, stronger than lions. Daughters of Israel, weep for Saul, who clothed you in crimson, who decked you in jewels of gold. Jonathan, I grieve for you, my brother. Most dear to me, your love more sacred than any other. How have the mighty fallen?
David moved his men to Hebron. The men of Judah came and anointed David king of Judah. But Abner, Saul's commander, hid Saul's last surviving son in the countryside. Abner continued to defend the house of Saul and rallied the soldiers of Benjamin for war. David's commander, Joab, led the soldiers of Judah against Abner in a fierce battle. As the war continued, the house of David only grew in strength, while the house of Saul waned. Abner was finally forced to concede and went to Hebron himself to offer a pact to the house of David.
Abner, you were brave to come. We welcome you to Hebron.
My lord, I come to offer peace. Make a pact with me, and I will bring all of Israel to your side.
I will accept your pact on one condition. Saul's daughter, Michal, my wife, has been kept hidden from me during these years of war. Return her to my side, and we will unite Benjamin and Judah in peace.
A fair condition. I'll bring her to you myself.
Abner left and returned to Hebron with Michal. David and his guard rode out to meet the procession.
Your wife, as promised.
Husband.
I have spoken to the elders of the tribes. All of Israel now embraces you as their king. The elders make way to Hebron now to declare you before the people.
Abner, you have brought peace and unity to Israel. We will feast in your honor. Michal, it is time for you to take your rightful place at court. Welcome home, princess.
Your maidservant wishes the king a long and blessed reign. Long live King David.
Long live King David!
The elders anointed David in Hebron with an official inauguration.
David, son of Jesse, who led us in war, you shall now shepherd our people in peace and rule over Israel as king. May the Creator bless your reign.
David made a covenant with his people, devoting his life to the kingdom of Israel. And he did not forget his oath to his old friend. Jonathan's son was brought to Hebron and given a place at David's own table. The house of Saul would be remembered with honor for all time.